Today I'm going against my better judgment and making a viral recipe that's been following me around the internet for the last 6 months. Have you heard of the Dubai chocolate bar? Apparently it's a chocolate bar that costs $18 and can only be purchased in Dubai. Originally created by Fix Dessert Chocolatier, it appears to be a dense molded chocolate bar that's made from pistachio cream, shredded phyllo dough called kataifi, and a whole bunch of delicious chocolate. And so today I'm going to try to recreate the viral Dubai chocolate bar in my home kitchen. I try not to succumb to these trends, but every once in a while something will follow me around for months at a time until I just can't get it out of my head until I try to make it in my own home kitchen. This one is a little more complicated than I'm prepared for. It's a molded chocolate bar, which requires both tempering chocolate and a chocolate mold. Neither of those things are that approachable when you're a home cook, nor are either that exciting to me. And because tempering chocolate is like 50% or less success rate for me, I'm gonna try to make an at-home version of this that incorporates the same flavors and ingredients, but is a hell of a lot easier. So the hardest part of this recipe so far, and considering I haven't even started, that's an unfortunate statement, is sourcing the ingredients. Two very specific ingredients that you need to replicate this Dubai chocolate bar. And you can buy both of them, at least where I live, on Amazon, but I wanted to see if I could find them in person because ingredients like these usually open me up to new shopping experiences and allow me to source ingredients easier in the future. So I went to several different Middle Eastern style grocery stores, a couple international markets, and finally succeeded at my 6th store to find this kataifi. This is shredded phyllo dough, and it's a product I've never worked with before. It's more complicated than just shredding phyllo dough though. It's not an easy ingredient to make at home. So investing the time in making this Dubai chocolate, I decided to go on a search to find it. I'll link some in the description box below though, as you can order it, at least where I live, on Amazon. The second ingredient I also looked for at each of those 6 stores, and I found it at store number 4. This is pistachio cream. And I think I would have had a better time sourcing it from an Italian grocery store because this says product of Italy. A little bit about the origin of this Dubai chocolate that we're making. While the chocolate bar is attributed to Dubai, all of these ingredients have been in the region around the Mediterranean for probably hundreds of years. It was hard for me to find a very specific attribution of the country or the people that first came up with the combination of pistachio cream and kataifi. I saw countries all the way from Northern Africa to Middle East to the north side of the Mediterranean in Europe. So while I don't have a perfect origin story for this dish, one thing that I can be pretty certain of is that it didn't originate in Dubai, but rather the chocolatier that made this chocolate bar combined all of the flavors in an interesting, new, and luxurious way. And of course, decided not to ship it internationally, so it made it even more of a luxury product that you had to go to Dubai for. So the steps to make the original Dubai chocolate bar are actually pretty complicated, involving a chocolate mold and tempering chocolate. I'm gonna try to make a bark version of this today. And bark is something that I fall back on often in my kitchen. It makes a great gift and a great snack. So the method I'm gonna try today, and I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna melt some chocolate for a bottom layer, make the kataifi filling with kataifi, pistachio cream, tahini, a little bit of salt, and then melt some chocolate on top and see if we can't make something that tastes really similar to the Dubai chocolate, but for a whole lot less time and energy. All I'm gonna use is a large saucepan over my stove, and then I have prepped and ready to go a cookie sheet with a piece of parchment. This is where we're gonna layer our chocolate. So the first thing I need to do is get into this kataifi, and this was found in the frozen section of an international market next to the phyllo dough. I haven't even opened a package yet, so let's get into it together. So opening up the package, it smells like dough, but looks a little bit like angel hair pasta. And I think we're gonna end up using about half of this brick, so I'm just gonna chop it up and try to separate it. The idea here is that we chop some of this up and fry it in some butter over the stove so it gets nice and crispy and golden brown. And that's the texture to our chocolate bar. So I'm just gonna run my knife through it and see what happens. It's always fun to work with a new product that you've never worked with before. So this is just the weirdest product. It doesn't feel like phyllo dough at all. It feels more like dried pasta or like little sticks almost. Hopefully adding some butter and crisping it up can turn it delicious. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in a bowl, and then all of this is gonna come with me over to the stove, and I'm gonna fry it in some butter. Stove on to a medium-high heat, and I'm gonna try to start with about 2 tablespoons of butter. I have a feeling for this amount, we might need a little bit more. The goal is just to fry this until it's golden brown. Yeah, I'm gonna add a couple more tablespoons of butter. That butter is like absorbing and sticking to some of it, but not really to the rest. So let's add in 2 more tablespoons of butter. 3 more tablespoons of butter for good measure. Okay, that's looking better. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. We're about 8 minutes or so in to cooking and browning this. Most of it looks pretty brown. I feel like I'm on the verge of burning it. And it's all over my floor. So I'm gonna call this good. Turn the burner off. I'm just gonna scrape this into a bowl and let it cool. Move on to the chocolate. I have two different types of chocolate here. I'm gonna start with this Lindt 70% dark chocolate. And then if that fails, I have some melting wafers. I might use some white melting wafers for decoration over the top. We'll see when we get there. But I also have these dark chocolate melting wafers. This is a really good approximation of tempered chocolate, and it works in a pinch. So I'm gonna try to use this for the bottom of the chocolate bar, this for the top, because we're looking for that shiny, crispy crack that tempered chocolate gives you. So I think I'm gonna use these for the top. But for now, I'm just gonna melt some chocolate. So I'm not gonna use chocolate chips here. There's lots of stabilizers in chocolate chips that make them a little bit less desirable from the crispy, shiny, snappy perspective. So I'm just gonna cut up these two chocolate bars. And then I'm actually just gonna toss this in the microwave. So microwave is usually the way I melt chocolate, though you can do it over a double boiler. And fun fact, dark chocolate is a little bit more forgiving in the melting in the microwave process. Plus, to me, it tastes better. So the way I'm gonna do that is toss this in the microwave for 30 seconds and stir in between until it's mostly melted, and I'll take it out and show you what it looks like at that point. There we go. So I like to take it out before it's all melted. There's still quite a few chunks in here. And just stir. There's a ton of residual heat in both the chocolate and in this glass bowl. And you don't want to take it too far. So I'm just stirring, stirring, stirring. So it was pretty chunky when I took it out of the microwave, but now it's very smooth. No chunks left. That's exactly what you want. Okay, so on a parchment-lined baking sheet, I'm just going to drizzle this and try to create a big square. And this is the base of our chocolate bar. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Just one thin, even layer on the bottom of our parchment. So I'm just gonna set this aside and get working on the filling. So back, front, and center goes our kataifi. And the intent here is to mix the pistachio cream and a little bit of tahini and some salt with that kataifi to make like a very luxurious filling. I'm gonna mix these two wet-ish ingredients first. Tahini is kind of like peanut butter, and it's sometimes a little bit tough to work with. So I have a feeling I'll have a better distribution if I do it this way. So I'm going for a solid 2 tablespoons of tahini to about a half a cup or 4 ounces of that pistachio cream. And this is just my best guess at a ratio that will work well. I'm testing this recipe as we go. So this product is called pistachio cream. Again, I found it in the Italian section of an international grocery store. And the ingredients are pistachio sugar, milk powder, olive oil, and some other additives. So it's really just a sweetened pistachio spread, not to be confused with pistachio butter. Pistachio butter, I believe, doesn't have milk and sugar, whereas pistachio cream does. This is a 7-ounce jar, so I'm gonna use about half of this jar. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. To everything sweet goes a little bit of salt. Okay, now let's see if I can stir this up. Yeah, this was the right move. One, 2. So that's gonna end up being like 2.5 cups probably. We'll see if I can fit it all in here. In my mind, I'm trying to decide how much of this can fit on this. And I think I'm gonna push it and just mix the rest of it in. I don't have any other recipes calling for fried kataifi. Okay, that's looking really good. So that's our filling. And before this hardens, I want to try to, I might actually just use my hands and try to sprinkle some of this filling down over the top and press it in. My chocolate is hardening a little bit here, which could be a problem. But I'm gonna rely on the top layer of chocolate to hopefully solve all ills. And that was about the right amount for a thick layer. Top layer, I'm gonna use these candy melts or melting wafers. There's 10 ounces in this package. I used 7 ounces of chocolate for the base, and I think I'm gonna need a little bit more to cover the whole thing. The whole idea is to enclose that filling completely, so we'll see if we can do that. But I might use most of this container. Let's just do all 10 ounces and see. I can always save any that I don't end up using. Okay, so I've melted about 5 more ounces of chocolate just because I had it. I had an opened package. And I wanna try to fully encase the filling in chocolate. I don't know that we'll be able to get there with this amount of chocolate, but I'm gonna try. Getting close. Okay, this is what we have. I'm not gonna tilt it up too much because I don't want it to run. This needs to set off to the side and continue to solidify. And I'm gonna prepare some toppings. So I think for toppings, I'm gonna use a little drizzle of the pistachio cream, a little drizzle of white chocolate, and some of these chopped pistachios. Okay. I think we're gonna call that good. I haven't even actually tasted this yet. Let's taste it, see what it tastes like. I don't taste pistachio at all, actually. Maybe a little aftertaste of pistachio. Pretty good. I have a feeling this is gonna be a winner. Okay, so this definitely needs to go in the fridge to harden up before we can cut it. And we'll see if this is worth making. I'll let you know in a bit. It's time to check out this viral Dubai chocolate. See how it tastes. So I actually tossed this in the freezer for a little while. I realized that the pistachio cream on the top, I'm not sure that that's ever gonna harden. So we got that going for us, but I wanted to be able to cut it easily. So I tossed it in the freezer. My plan is just to cut it. I think it's probably going to break into shards if my experience with chocolate bark is anything to go on, but let's see. So I've been wondering what this combination of flavors tastes like for like the last 6 months. So it's beyond time at this point to taste it. So while I don't have an authentic $18 Dubai chocolate bar to compare this to, I think I'm gonna be pretty happy. The chocolate is super shiny on top, which is exactly what we were going for. I'm hoping that I'm gonna get a little bit of a crack when I crunch into that chocolate. And I think those roasty, toasty strands of phyllo on the inside are going to be perfect. So let's give it a taste. This is really good. I'm not super surprised. I thought it was going to be way overly sweet, but I think the addition of salt and a little bit of tahini really balances out well. It is definitely sweet, but it's not like a sugar bomb in my mouth, which is really nice. The dark chocolate goes really well with the pistachio cream. Again, the tahini and the salt add a little bit of kind of savory umami to the background. It's really good. And for as easy as it was, I would highly recommend making this. I will leave links to the hard to find ingredients in the description box below. And if you're local to the greater Seattle area, DK Market in Renton, where I ended up finding the shredded phyllo dough. All in all, I'd say this is a success. These are gonna go right in my fridge and I will snack on them in the days to come. They could last a long time in your fridge if necessary, but guaranteed that they will be gone before they have a risk of going bad. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Please let me know if you've seen the viral Dubai chocolate or if you've tried it. I would love to hear about it in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see more, please stick around. I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel and I look forward to seeing you here next time. Cheers.